my name's Vicky Knight, and I'm at the Eastbourne campus for East Sussex College, studying for a professional certification or PGCE in further education. So the reason that I'm studying a PGCE now is after working in business for 20 years and having a baby and having a little bit of assessment on life and what's important and finding something that enables me to give a purpose. And I've always done learning and development and training in business and always been passionate about that. And so I had an opportunity to find out more about teaching as a qualification or as a career. And I thought, well, I don't want to be working too much because my son's very young. So it just seemed like a really good time to sort of take a little bit of a step back from the business world and invest in time in my own personal development. And I was very fortunate to be offered a teaching role at East Sussex in Lewes, which it made sense to do that hand in hand with the PGCE straight away. And that started in Eastbourne in September 2020 and haven't looked back since, really, thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah.
Did you apply for the role first as a teaching and then you could do the qualification alongside?
Yeah, that's right. I was offered the teaching role and I suddenly had a little bit of a eureka moment and thought, why don't you do the PGCE at the same time? And then I looked at all the different options that I could do a PGCE, and I soon worked out that the further education environment was more suitable to me than maybe the traditional school way, just through little bits of research. And so it's quite a complex environment, somebody completely cold going into teaching for the first time. There's a lot of acronyms and it's very difficult to work out what it all means. But it just made sense. And when I met Helen and my first week on the course, it all fitted into place, and it's much easier for somebody coming from a non-educational background, academic background, into that environment. I think that transition's easier from business into further education than maybe the traditional school route, is my own personal experience and opinion.
So you've joined the college as a business teacher, is that right?
Yes, so I'm teaching first years A-level. I've worked for 20 plus years in my career, and I've done a lot of stuff in the travel industry. And most recently, my job was running a responsible travel company based in Brighton that was very ethical and sustainable. So it's a small business as well, so it's a bit easier to be able to relate real life scenarios with the textbook that the students are learning from. And I've been very hands-on in that business. I've also worked for TUI, which was in the FTSE 100 with 50,000 employees. So, which is great because then I can give the different perspective according to different sized organisations as well.
So how have you found the course so far? How have you found juggling teaching and lesson planning along with learning how to lesson plan and sort of lectures?
Yeah, I guess at risk of sounding a little bit like a geek, I've really enjoyed it because everything I've learned on a week by week basis has made my lessons stronger. Like, I find myself constantly amending my lesson planning based on something that Helen's taught us the week before. And then I'm just a bit of a suck it and see kind of person, really. The students know that I'm in training. They know that it's my first job in teaching officially, and they've done lots of feedback questionnaires, so they feel that they're still getting a good service. But it just gives me a bit more confidence to sort of bring some of the stuff that the course is enabling us to implement, really. And not being scared to try it. And obviously the observations and the mentor reviews all help build your confidence as a teacher to give these things a go, because when you work in business, you don't have people, especially when you run a business, you haven't got people on your back telling you what to do. So I really embrace the autonomy of teaching. So as long as you're filling in the right admin and the paperwork and you're getting good feedback, there's a bit more wiggle room, for want of a better word, to deliver the lessons authentically.
How's Helen's teaching been, and how has she supported you as a student? Yeah,
so I had a bit of a reputation when I worked in business as being a bit of a disruptor, in that if I didn't understand why things were done in a certain way, I always felt the need to change them for the better. And I can never cope with, that's the way things are done. So, and that's how Rickshaw was run. Rickshaw was very much, which was the travel company I part-owned and ran. It was a very values-driven company. It was very authentic. It was very meaningful, and it really it was different to a lot of other travel businesses, and particularly even other businesses in general, because we were quite happy to put our neck on the line a little bit and just push things a bit further. And I think I guess that's what I'm saying about the further education environment and the way that Helen is as a tutor, that I feel that I can still be myself and be a good teacher, because if I was on a course that suppressed me, then that wouldn't enable me to deliver the lessons that I want to be able to deliver. And Helen as a tutor certainly enables that to flourish, and is very supporting of that. And everyone on our course has a slightly different approach. Everybody's got a different background, but she finds time and the right words to everybody to be the best that they can be.